And again, one of the biggest strengths of this team is the individual players. And that's why I was saying, like, if they can get these team fights where they split up the enemy team and just get these kind of 1v1 situations, even in a full 5v5, they still create sort of 1v1 opportunities for themselves. That's where I think their biggest strength lies, in being able to set up situations like that where, you know, starting all over, Truth and Hammy can all shine individually.
As we get into this draft for our first elimination match, you guys at home voted. Tribe Gaming, 68% of you believe they're going to be able to defend their crown. Let's get into the first game.
Tribe definitely looking strong. No surprise to see captains coming off the board. Bacon, you've been on the Caster's desk all day. Give me your thoughts on the prioritization in all of these captain heroes.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense. That's where a lot of the utility comes from. And it's also like these flexible heroes. You know, Lorelei isn't necessarily always a captain. I think it's very important to get her off the board. Yates, another one that just can have way too much impact on a game. I always say the priority band should be the heroes that you have to play differently when they are in the game. And that's why things like the Lorelei and the Yates, like, that's what they do. When you are up against a Lorelei or a Yates, you have to change your entire game plan around that one specific hero. So that's why I agree with both of them taking off the board. I also feel like the Anka probably should have been that last band there for the side of Tribe. I'm really surprised that we're seeing either Anka or Lorelei constantly get through these bands.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see Nova in the spot to make a tough decision here. They do end up going with the Kinetic. Reason being, though, I would be shocked to see Tribe pick up both Anka and Reza, and having just both of those kind of dive-heavy top laners as options, probably why they do want to secure that weapon power carry, because in my opinion, Anka and Reza are almost interchangeable. I do think Anka takes the upper edge there, if you will, but definitely interesting to say the least.
Yeah, we'll see what that's going to mean for Hammy, because it was his Anka that was looking so strong in their series against Clash. Obviously going to have to figure out a different playmaker for him to be on if he's going to be the one that really steps up and carries this team. So Tribe, with their second pick, can get themselves a bit of this utility. They're going to grab that Lyra, another one of these heroes that very frequently does get the ban instead of being allowed through. So Tribe, I mean, Anka, Lyra, that's already looking pretty strong to start things off.
I really like those picks coming out of the side of Tribe. Like I said, you know, Reza is still available for Nova, but Lyra is one of those captains that is just so effective, dropping that Bright Bulwark, preventing Reza from using his dash. So hard to deal with. Nova, two quick lock-ins with Arden and Maline. I really like those choices. Arden, I think, is one of the best captains to go up against Anka and negating a lot of that upfront burst damage.
Yeah, Arden's also just phenomenal, and if you put him in the carry role as well, Weapon Arden's still extremely strong if you do decide to go that route. The one pick that I think has been the biggest surprise to me all day long is teams putting so much of a priority on this Kinetic. Like, yes, Kinetic is very strong, but I don't feel like it's first pick worthy necessarily, because there are plenty of, like, Silvernail can compete with Kinetic. We've seen players show up big with other unconventional picks. You know, Hundor's Ringo was looking pretty darn solid in their game against Ace. So the fact that teams are giving up so much just to get this Kinetic still feels a bit weird.
So very interesting here. Tribe has gone with both Anka and Reza. Now Nova has some interesting decisions to make. I love the Finn pickup. I think that is a hero. And Tony as well, getting very tanky, making sure they're taking heroes that can peel a little bit for their carries, and just overall not being able to be bursted down.
Tony is a signature pick for Delphi. Not only that, but if you want to split up an enemy team and create those 1v1 situations in the middle of a team fight, nothing does that better than a Tony. But you know, I want to go back to the Anka and Reza pickups for Tribe. Like you said, we were talking about the Celeste for Chuck and how assassins can just dive onto it. Well, they can't. Your opponents can't get the assassins to dive onto it if you've got all the assassins.
Absolutely going to be very challenging for them to be able to figure out what it is that's going on. Not to mention, both Reza and Anka are very effective against this Arden. If Arden drops the gauntlet, easy to get out of it.
So 12 captains in the game so far. 7 of them go picked or banned in this match. The emphasis on that captain role has been massive. and we'll get to see the first time Tony in the game. And Tony, we thought doing the study was going to be one of the heroes that would be prioritized over. Doesn't seem like that at all. Let's get ourselves into the first game of the elimination match. Nova against Tribe Gaming. Munch, take it away with Humanist.
Here we go. Elimination games underway. North American Derby to start things off. Nova up against Tribe.
Let's go! Nova versus Tribe. I finally got the headset on over here, ready to go. Munch, we got some Finn here, some of my all-time favorite players, and you know that everything's on the line for these teams.
Finna get the hook up in here, cause gonna start things off strong.
Up in here, up in here.
Oh, Gold School in trouble.
Old School gets the heal though, no problem there. Gave Bizzle a quick little heal. They want to contest that Gold Oak. It's a bold move from Nova deep into enemy territory to start things off. They'll go ahead and secure that. So an effective rotation, Polite Company doing work. T-Tiger's debatably best player in the world will be the first blood. Give me one more little tap on that booty right there. First blood for Nova. Nice moves.
Beautiful stuff to start things off. We are kicking off in style, just a minute into the game, and already frags coming out on either side of the map. A lot of pressure from both teams as we saw early aggression into the jungle and immediately back on into this mid lane. Chuck going to be struggling to clear at this early stage. Celeste, obviously phenomenal later on into the game, but you got to get a few levels first.
Yeah, about 8. That's
approximately exactly 8.
I mean, if we see him do anything aggressive or successful before we hit that point, we're going to know that he's going to have a great game. Until then, we just let him get that farm up, just kind of chill in that mid lane, and hopefully not feed too many kills over.
And we'll certainly hope for no feeding in this one. Max Green does have his dash, so I think he'll be just about A-okay. But Delphi, let's talk about the fact that he is on his Tony. Well, let's talk about if he survives right now. Max Green.
Delphi, a gentleman, but a little trash talk coming through.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And, like, we have seen so much Tony out of Delphi in 2018.
I thought you said we were going to see so much trash talk coming.
Not out of Delphi. Maybe out of his teammates, though.
Yeah. No, it's really awesome. I mean, you said it during the draft. It's not only comfort picks, but meta comfort picks, which is just like the next level that you're always looking for in the draft. Tiggs. Looking for the jump in onto Hammy, but he's going to be just fine. Cause, look at that Quibble damage coming through. That's nothing to shake a stick at. Yeah.
They buffed Finn's base damage. I'm not really sure why. It was already crazy good.
I don't know. Maybe some of the devs were just like, you know what? I'm a little biased for this. Yeah, exactly.
I want to get VG this season.
I'm trying. Yeah, exactly. maybe they got the bronze. They're trying to go for the silver this season.
Maybe. Well, none of these teams are going to be looking for silver, but right now they're fighting to stay away from elimination. Whoever loses this series will walk away in 4th place. Still $2,500 for 4th place, not too bad. But you're certainly going to be looking for that $15,000 in the first place.
Well, that's what these guys are all playing for, and of course the pride, the respect that comes along with saying, hey, you know, we're the best in the world at this moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh yeah, the title world champions. The Tribe right now that you can see in this elimination game are fighting to defend. Dienzio, unfortunately, not going to be here to defend his title. It's going to be T-Tigers. And it's going to be Max Green.
It borderline, like, that was almost like the tipping point for me. Like, looking at this team when we were thinking, you know, who's going to make it to the finals, I felt like, hey, you know, Tribe's got a shot. They're going to have to play great. But Dienzio being out of the roster really changes things. He was the true live buff. Now,
and isn't that crazy to talk about as well? Because it's Chuck. Like, Chuck is no slouch, and yet that's the difference maker.
He's no slouch, but you need someone to step up in these situations. Max Green trying to step up, but he'll jump back as his turret goes down. Nice take by Nova as they move 3 into this bottom lane.
Really nice rotation from Nova. Early aggression, taking that bottom lane turret. Typically the first turret to go down on the map.
Yeah, unless I'm in that lane. You know, I'm always holding it down in that lane, just trying to maximize my own pressure going the other way. But yeah, of course, great job. Usually it's taken 2 versus 1, but Nova rotating 3 to secure that, make sure it wasn't stalled. I love it, and there's so many rotations happening around the map. This is truly North American aggression shining through.
Yeah, looking to do it again right here. Starting going to be leading the charge. He's not going to be able to get the damage down, so swaps out, just gets his A on across, but no root coming out from him.
Yeah, it's one of those situations, like you make that rotation, sure, if you can grab the root, maybe you find a kill, but you know, it's not a high-risk play, but there's low chances that you're going to come out with a kill there. But they make the rotation, he's back in the mid, maybe loses one of those lane minions, not too big of a deal, but 5 minutes in, look who hits the shot, Chuck.
Ooh.
Now they're moving up to the top lane.
He's going for it.
Will they be able to get the kill? Old school, they flip it around, Hammy will go down punished for the aggression. Now Cod's actually going down the other way, as now Tribe up 2-1. 5.5 minutes into this one.
Yeah, pushing for too much right there. They tried to make the play happen. They didn't appreciate the fact that everyone was missing from the mid lane. That was not a good fight to take.
And that's pretty normal for a lot of players, even professional players. You know, you kind of focus in onto that play you're making in the lane, and if that rotation's not called out, you can get caught by surprise. And I think that's why vision is such a big deal for all of these teams. You got to get that vision down so you see those rotations coming.
I thought you were talking about vision gaming being such a big deal. I was like, well, not big enough, unfortunately. Two other players, Hammy coming on in, but let's talk about Hammy. They mentioned him on the desk, you know, phenomenal play earlier today.
Oh, you're talking about Samuel L. Jackson?
Samuel L. Jackson, my friend. His anchor is unreal, probably the best of the tournament so far, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But he is also the Arden that just tried to dive the turret and ended up going out. So I feel like in this game so far, he epitomizes Nova. It's feast off fam.
It really is, and it's strange because we've mostly seen that out of starting all over with Hammy being a little bit more consistent, but he's taking on that role, and maybe because starting's playing a little bit more passive. Now, right now, this is the Ghost Wing challenge where Tribe trying to get into position. Max Green and Gabe know exactly what's happening. We see the rotation from Chuck on down here, but this is where Finn's going to just drop the polite company. There you go. Just stomp in the ground, trying to get control. Gauntlet comes down to the lane. Max Green able to slip out of the fight. Well, the rest of the team try to go for this Ghost Wing. Who's going to grab it? Tiggs wants it, but it will go over to Nova. Great job there. 1 for 1 on the kills, but Ghost Wing going the way of Nova. A little kiting back by Truth. Dude, of beauty.
Truth is a god, man. He secures the Ghost Wing. He was 2v1 basically that entire fight. Manages to win it. Almost getting another kill.
Winds up, dodged out. Max Green, I mean, Truth,
well played.
He's a player, but right back at you.
Yeah, Max Green, exceptional mechanics, always has been. There's a reason he's defending world champion, right? But Truth to Flight, superb play, secures his team to Ghost Wing, and now heading towards Tier 2 turret.
I mean, were you around when, like, I felt like Truth was borderline almost more exciting to watch than starting, and he just kind of dialed it back over like this last year. But he was one of those guys as well, like his glaive, it was so exciting to watch, like afterburning over walls, going for those kills, and I'd love to see him turn it up here.
That's one of the big things everyone was talking about at the start of 5v5, right? Starting and Truth on the same roster, these unbelievable playmakers.
But Truth, I mean, just Truth, he kind of like just dialed it back, and it's been a very different play style for him.
That's one of those things that happens when there's so much on one roster. Chuck taking a lot of damage here, but it looks like Nova not going to get what they want.
Well, I think they're going to be okay with that. You know, they're not going to lose anything. They apply some pressure and drop back, looking for a Crystal Treant over here. It's easy peasy.
But yeah, to return to the point, I think that's one of the things you have to sacrifice. When you're on a roster with so much talent, there is only one person can be the absolute spotlight carry, you know. Not everyone can get a pentakill in one game, and I think that's kind of how this team developed, was start to take that limelight.
Yeah, I get it, but for me, it was just like Truth was looking for action instead of just like kind of letting the action come to him. What's cool though is like, because his playstyle has changed, his ability to do that has not, right? So at any moment, he can still pull that out, which is like a great strength, and his opponents have to respect that.
Yeah, and that's something me and Tasty Bacon were talking about earlier on in the day as well, is you've got starting, you got Truth, like you said, they can pull it out at any moment. Yeah. Then Hammy to round that out, a third carry position, and now with the meta really focusing on the top lane.
Hammy's not going to be outdone, yeah.
Yeah, this is a really terrifying roster. Honestly, I was surprised to see them fall into the lower bracket, and we'll see if they can recover.
Tiggs getting aggressive onto the Finn here, but we'll respect the fact that that is not going to be a kill going his way, backing out, but just kind of forcing Nova out of the jungle and saying, hey, you know, I'm here, you're going to come in, you're going to take some damage. Crystal Treant being contested over here will go the way of Chuck, so he's going to be happy to take that one on his Celeste there.
Yeah, so 3-3 on the scoreboard. And looking at the gold, it's actually pretty heavily in favor of Nova, about 5,000 difference, which is way more significant than, honestly, it feels like in the game. That Nova have definitely have control of the map, but it doesn't feel quite as significant as the gold would suggest here.
I think a lot of that, I mean, they've been getting gold off of the map, but also the turrets. You know, they've taken these turrets down. That's just money in your pocket. But if you think about it, maybe an investment for Tribe, because if they get a fight, they move in, they take some of those turrets down, it could be a huge swing going their way.
That standing gold on the map definitely comes into play. Second ghost swing of the game, though, going to be going the way of Nova once again. This is clean from Nova. Second neutral objective they've taken. They haven't lost a turret just yet. And now, pushing towards this tier 2 in the bottom lane once again. I feel like Nova, especially with this ghost swing, they could just force a fight.
Yeah, they definitely can, and Max Green already taking a lot of damage before a potential fight kicks off. Truth doing nice chip damage onto the turret, where it looks like Tribe trying to find that position because there's action happening in the mid lane simultaneously. They're pressuring mid lane and bottom lane, and it's spreading Tribe out thin across the map.
It really is. And with this minion candy wave pushing on towards the turret, this is going to be a tier 2. Going the way of Nova right now. Not a whole lot Tribe can do about it. I say that, I'm completely wrong. It's going to be the next minion wave, though, and in the meantime, this bottom lane tier 2 will be finished off.
I mean, they've taken 2 turrets in that lane. Not one has gone down against them. It's just phenomenal pushing, phenomenal rotations coming out of Nova. Getting into the base. Truth trying to get the kill, but the Netherform detonator from Max Green allows him to reposition.
That was so
and
good.
Truth will go down, jebaited on in.
The perfect bait coming out from Max Green right there. He knew that Truth would take it. He knew he'd go for the kill, and the rest of the team comes to sweep up. They even get one of the backs as well as a bonus right there. But in the meantime, that tier 2 in the mid lane did go down. So swings and roundabouts.
That is a really big deal, honestly, because if you look at where Black Claw's positioned on the map, hold on, might have a bit of engagement. That Quibble slamming on down home right in this choke point. Tribe have to respect that. But what I was going to say, Munch, having the T2 down in bottom and mid means that you could like put 4 people on Black Claw, 1 person pushing the bottom lane, and you have to really respect that because you're in the base. That's a base turret that's taking damage, and you're spreading your team out. So it's a really dangerous situation for Tribe right now.
Also, you lose so much control of the map. You're no longer safe in that bottom right or the top right quadrant of the jungle. You have to have complete vision, otherwise you know that the enemy can be there at any time. So I cannot emphasize enough how much map control Nova have just because
emphasize it, Munch. Give me the emphasis.
So much map control.
So much map control. It looks like we might have a fight breaking out here. Cause kind of looking for that forward position where he can control this fight for his team. Does he have that force to cord up? Yeah, he does. Also Fountain ready to go. He's got those journey boosts as well, so he can consistently reposition, be on the front line. Looking for the pull, but blocked off. Solar Storm flies on through. It's Gabe Vizzle. It's probably going to be blocked off, but hey, not going to land it if you don't throw it.
Exactly. You got to make that shot to hit it, but at the same time, against the captain, like you could see Cos kind of hesitating on throwing the hook because he's kind of like, there's no way we pull this one off, but might as well go for it.
Pull this one off. All right. Yeah, and one of the things, I think one of the biggest changes, if we go back to like it was the last update or the one before where Crucible got that increased cooldown. It's a really big deal up against this Finn because like eventually he's going to be able to throw these hooks before your Crucible's back up, and that's where we're going to see like a huge difference come out.
Yeah, and also what we've been seeing earlier on today as well is a hook to try and start a fight usually gets Crucibled, but if the fight goes on for a little bit, you usually get one to end the fight that groups people together, and especially if you've got a Celeste on your squad or some of that AoE, it's going to finish it off. Gauntlet goes down though, and that's going to be old school. Solo just about escapes.
Yeah, he's solo, but not solo as he moves on back there. Tiger's the only one to fall, but Nova want more. Are they going to get into the base here? They're getting damage onto Chuck over the wall. Chuck turns around with a Solar Storm, goes to the face, but they're over the wall. Kinetic wants one. Is he going to go for 2? They juggle the damage. Truth just scoring up the base.
Lord.
Oh, Truth almost finding it. Old School barely staying alive, and Nova just flexing over the corpses of Tribe.
Damn. That right there, Truth was on the cusp of glory. He was so close to...
That was glorious. That was vainglorious.
It absolutely was. But Old School and Chuck both sub 10 HP.
Over the wall, chop down. Chuck is dead. Nova building up the momentum.
OT Tigers once more right here. He's chasing on for Delphi. It's not quite going to happen for him, and Black Claw is looking awfully tasty on the menu. Nova deciding they need to base first.
Yeah, nothing like a little dragon barbecue, and Nova will be taking that at the first opportunity, but they got to respect Tribe. You know, Tribe might be down, but they are not out. These guys are some of the most experienced players in the world, and just like a few mistakes or maybe getting a little overconfident is something that they can, you know, get punished for, and that rebound gold is going to be a big deal here.
It really is. That shutdown goal, the bounties that you get if someone is fed on the other team, it's going to be absolutely massive. However, Nova actually don't have that many kills. The bounty gold is not that significant. Obviously, every kill matters, but we've seen games today with 30+ kills, and that's when the bounty gold really swings the game. Here, it's just a nice little bonus.
It's definitely a nice little bonus. I mean, it depends who's going to go down, right? So, like, if starting goes in there, it gets a little too overzealous, it gets punished for it, maybe that's a little bit bigger. But on the Malign, it is going to be harder to take him down.
Yeah, for sure.
Solar Storm connects onto 2. Pretty nice chunk damage. Tribe looking for that position down the river. They'll have that bonus move speed if they can find the catch, but not going to be just yet.
It's funny to see, as the team of Nova walks past the river shop, 5 infusions immediately pop up in the kill feed. Everybody getting ready for the fight. Old School trying to take a turret in the mid lane, but that's not a trade you want to make, my friend. That's going to be an inhibitor going down.
And maybe not what they want, but that's all they could get. A T1 for a T3 here. Now Arcane Passage in. Gabe Bizzle says, let's go, squad, but the gauntlet comes down. Nova say, you want to fight? We're ready to go. T-Tigers is on the backside for his team. The damage is coming out. Tiggs has dropped. Tribe stand their ground. The Quibble, the polite company from Finn, keeping Nova alive. They want Max Green. They've got him. It is a 3-for-1 right now with that base turret down. There's borderline just almost nothing from Tribe stopping Nova from moving in. Look at the damage coming out. They're going to find another one. Old School. Oh, it's the ace. Nova just destroying Tribe here in game 1 from minute 1 all the way to 16, 17 minutes in. That was all Nova.
And that was a comfortable win as well. We saw a little bit of back and forth in the early game, but Nova only just lost a turret right at the very end of the game. Phenomenal control coming out from them throughout that first game of the series. And Tribe have to go back to the drawing board if they want a chance in this one.
Yeah, Nova are just like, I mean, they're no clash, I guess.
Oh, Hammy just said easy to the camera.
Easy.
Oozing confidence.
I mean, having some fun, but they're, you know, the thing with the squad, right? They can't get overconfident.
Yeah. And that's something Left was talking to me before the tournament about. Was he was saying that's our biggest weak. We are our own worst enemy. And take a look at Starting's scoreline right there. We know him for the Malign. When she first came out, Starting was one of the first propagators of that pick and showing his style right there.
Yeah, I love it. It was just kind of steady as she goes with this Malign. He didn't really force anything, but it definitely felt like he was testing his limits.
Yeah.
Always ready to bail out and just kind of forcing Tribe to think about how they were going to approach this fight, never feeling comfortable.
Man, Truth of Light as well. I feel like we saw the bubblings of something great later on today.
We did, didn't we?
He was so close to just annihilating.
Okay, but he was in the base like 3 times with turrets still up. That's the truth that we know and love, and that's what I want to continue to see. When you have the Starting and Truth making those kind of plays together, that's where Nova wins championships.
Yeah, that is the difference maker right there. And, you know, people were escaping on slivers of HP. That's not going to happen all too often. If he can make those plays again, it's going to pay dividends in the next one in the series. Tribe have to change things up now, though. Let's just appreciate the fact that Nova almost had a perfect game. There were like 3 or 4 deaths and 1 turret went down. But that turret trade was what lost the game for Tribe in the end. So things have got to change moving on forward. Nova feeling great. I'm going to pass it back over to Degon to break that one down.
Thank you very much, Munch and Humanisto. Where were those pipes when you're over here on my desk, my man? That's what a game like that makes you do. Nova taking it to Tribe. Tribe, again, looking a little out of sorts. And Nova, we've been talking about Starting all over as one of the best players in this tournament. Finally, he gets to pop off and do his big thing. What do you think about that, Bacon?
Yeah, I mean, this was much needed for Nova to be able to make this happen. You saw the guys, we said they were going to be confident coming into this one. We talked to them between games during the halftime. They said that they were going to come in confident, and they certainly showed it down there, especially after the game. You saw Hammy mouthing a little too easy to the camera. Like, you know, don't get too carried away just yet. It is only one game. Well, but they look strong.
Well, let's see how they did that with our Razor replay. Take a listen.
Wait, okay. Anchor. I'm an anchor. Back up. Useful. Wait, Reza. Wait, we can have. I'm going on him. Kill him. Nice, good shit.
All right, so there it is. You got to see that final team fight there. It was decisive, it was hype, and this is the Nova team that everyone's been wanting to see, and you could see what they're like when they're running on all cylinders.
100%. I mean, they stepped it up. Though that's how you need to play. When I made the prediction for Nova to win the tournament, that's the kind of gameplay that we were thinking about.
Yeah, and you see Nova, this is the history between Nova and Tribe. In the VPL Summer Open, Nova took the win against Tribe. Then Tribe did get the USA WESG qualifier, but Nova weren't old enough to play, so they weren't in that event. So there's a little bit of a chip on their shoulder because everyone's like, oh, Tribe's back on top. But they're like, hey, we didn't play against you. Yeah. So that's why you were able to win that. And now, as of that game, Nova are 3-0 in 2018 against Tribe. You go all the way back to the preseason as well. And for that one, Nova was able to come out on top over Tribe even in the preseason. So they are definitely feeling confident in this matchup.
Clearly one of the best rivalries in all of North American Vainglory. We're going to get to see how it plays out here in Game 2. It's do or die time for Tribe Gaming. The champs have their back up against the wall. They need to find an answer in this draft.
This is absolutely Tribe's sweet spot. They thrive off of do or die situations, and if they lose, they're done. Their run is over, so they need to step it up big time here, sticking to their guns, taking these captains off of the board. I mean, to an extent, it's worked for everyone except for Tribe. So what is it, Bacon, that they must change up here in this draft to find success?
I think the big thing they need to change is just what heroes they are playing themselves. They need to put themselves in a situation where they can be the ones that have the hard carry, the big flashy plays. I know it's not necessarily their style. Chuck is not one who's known for going all in. Old School, very rarely known for being one that goes diving into the enemy team trying to find plays. Like, we saw Truth diving into the enemy base on this kinetic looking for kills. That's the kind of style that Tribe, I think, needs to bring to the table in this game.
You said flashy plays. I know all about those. But yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying. Put themselves on these high skill cap carry base heroes.
Ooh.
Get Chuck off this last. They're gonna go with that Yates first pick. Finn, though, such a good counter. You're not pulling Finn. Body blocking that pull is going to be so important, and they're able to grab the kinetic on the back of it as well.
Yeah, this has been, again, the carry emphasis for everyone has been this kinetic. Truth looked pretty darn good with it in that first game, but now what are Tribe going to answer with? They're hovering the Celeste once again. It's yet to work out for them. I really want to see them switch it up. I want to see them go for something else for Chuck in this mid lane. Possibly could end up being the CP Vox.
And it looks like it very might be. We've seen a little bit of weapon power Vox today. I have a feeling it is going to end up in that mid lane, but we'll have to see how the rest of the draft plays out. Tribe very serious on their player cameras. Nova, though, they're all smiles. They can't get cocky. They have to remain composed, and this is one step closer to the finals for both of these teams.
Anka locked in for Tribe. I really hope we see this on T-Tigers, because if there is one player that is known for those big flashy plays, it is T-Tigers, and that's what you need. You need to let him just run wild on a game. Just build a composition around him and see if he can take it home for you. You mentioned Nova, mostly all smiles. A little bit of just focus here from Delphi, making sure he knows he's got his hero. He's got his Tony. Just a little bit of struggle in clearing out camps, but the Tony is all about the team fight.
Absolutely. Tribe locking in that silver nail. That's going on to Old School. That puts Vox in that mid lane, so almost certainly it's going to be Crystal Power. Vox, though, not one of the heroes that Chuck is well known for.
Yeah, it really isn't. However, if it's going to be this Crystal Vox, you've got a Tony and a Finn to just bounce off of constantly in these team fights. That can work out really, really well for you. We'll have to see how it plays out. Batiste gonna be the final pick. This is something that I know a lot of members from Nova have been playing quite a bit. They've been very high on this Batiste pick. I think it was something that they were maybe saving a little bit, but now in this game against Tribe, they're pulling out all the stops and just saying, you know what, this gives us the best chance to win. We don't think you can play against it. Show us what you got.
So much crowd control on the side of Nova to just continuously harass, stun, lock down whoever they need to on the side of Tribe. Maybe Anka stands a chance against that. The rest of them, not so much. It's all coming down to this.
Yates, Batiste, two heroes getting pulled out here that we haven't seen too much of. And that Anka that is banned in solo queue, 87%. You don't get to see him or see her, you don't get to play her, will be in this match as well. It's time to stand up if you're Tribe Gaming. Max Green, T-Tigers, defend your crown. Guys, take it away.
Here we go again. Tribe up against Nova. Game number 2 of our first elimination series. And Nova starting things off incredibly strong. But those kill bounties don't pass over between games.
They don't? I'm going to have to rethink my entire strategy here, Munch.
Unfortunately not, my friend. But I'm glad that they don't, because I would not be doing very well in solo queue with the amount of kills I get.
Yeah. Okay, we'll have to check that on maybe VG Pro after this one. But Crystal Trant taken down by Tribe early on. Kind of a different story. I mean, Nova was the team making the early aggression in game 1, and it's just kind of flipped around.
It certainly has. Nova, game 1 playing with utter confidence. And we'll see if they're going to bring that swagger again, because that really, I think, was... I felt like game 1 of this series, we saw Nova for the first time today. We've seen Nova play, but we didn't see the real Nova, you know. It feels like they've warmed into things. Certainly, that's what we saw in game number 1. We'll see if that's going to be repeated.
And we just straight up haven't seen Tribe. Like Tribe hasn't showed up thus far. You know, it's kind of interesting, like, for player mentality, player psychology. I feel like, you know, people predicted Tribe making it to the finals, winning this entire thing, and I wouldn't put it past them. If these guys could take a clean game, it might just be the beginning of something amazing. Chuck taking a lot of damage, turns it around. Cause maybe going down, Healing Flask at the last second will stand his ground. Polite Company coming up just at the end there. So these guys both pushing it to the edge.
Very aggressive trade from both teams. That's one thing that you often see in the mid lane, is those health bars getting incredibly low early on and people aggressively trying to find some kind of advantage in the lane.
That Healing Flask usage or using your boots early on, it's important to push it to the limit, but it's also important to remember, hey, this opponent used it. Let's make a rotation. Let's try and get a kill off of it.
Absolutely. Well, we do actually have Hot Sauce standing by. Lucy May has got a couple of questions for the coach from Tribe.
Yes, thank you so much. Here again, as Munch just said, with Hot Sauce of Tribe Gaming. All right, here's the question right now, in the fact that you guys are the reigning world champs, okay? You came into this probably somewhat confident, right? You unfortunately got taken out by Ace, dropped into the loser bracket. Round 1 now with against Nova. They knock you out first map, first round, excuse me. What are you telling your players right now to adjust to be able to make this next 2-0 sweep to stay alive?
Yeah, so first and foremost, you know, tell them that we've been in this situation before. We've been around for a long time. So this isn't the first time we faced adversity, so they're all experienced players and they can handle it. The other thing is, you know, minor adjustments that we think we need to make in draft, and then strategy based on team comp. Just play more to the strengths of our team comp, try and get a better team comp in draft, and then clean up our objective calls and stuff during the game.
All right, well, it sounds like you guys were able to definitively, excuse me, see what you needed to develop better on. Good luck. We're rooting for you to stay in the game. We're going to kick it right back over to the casters.
Thanks very much, Lucy and Hot Sauce there. Hammy is in a bit of trouble, though, already. Has to pop a Healing Flask.
Izzy, we're talking about Hammy right here. I think you, of all people, should know this guy's not going to be going down to a simple
He isn't in trouble. He is trouble.
Exactly. Chuck, you know, feeling a little low on health and energy, we'll go ahead and pop his Healing Flask here in the mid lane. This is going to keep him out here, but it means if he gets jumped, he's not going to have that to bail him out.
Ooh, Hammy could get aggressive here. Batiste has surprising damage that Ordained. He's not quite going to find the target.
Starting.
Ooh.
Just a sliver off. Now splitting his damage. It was a nice rotation attempt, but he's going to be forced back into his lane. That's also going to be a huge boots cooldown since he used that to try and get in position.
Very good effort coming out from Hammy there. Not quite able to get in range for the Ordained in the end. Stun doesn't quite come out. But Nova, while the interview was going on, Cos did get the first kill of the game with that Finn. The Quibble slamming down.
Just slamming it home, huh? Cos looks really comfortable on this Finn, and you know, we saw this band out. We did see it picked up, and I think this hero is just in such a great place right now.
Yeah. Finn, I mean, especially with CP Vox not being quite as popular in this update. I mean, it's still incredibly good, but it's not like absolute first lock in every game like it was in 3.8. That makes Finn better because Finn doesn't do so hot into CP Vox. He's just a target to bounce off.
If Vox is not in the meta, Finn will do better. Is that what you're saying?
You'll spin some rhymes right here. You and Vox have a lot in common, in fact.
Yeah, always. Always rhymes on time. Now, look, here we go. Tribe starting to make a little bit of an aggressive move down towards the bottom half of the map. But hello, my name is Cos. They found the raid boss. Is he allowed to use talents in 5 versus 5? I don't know. Trying to make his way back to the lane. You can't stun this guy, though,
How
so
is
he's
he still
silenced
alive?
up. This is Cos we're talking about here.
Oh my lord, he walks
That is a lot of damage now. Delphi in position, trash talks the river. Wishes he could have that one back. Pull in onto the kinetic. This will be a nice kill going to Tribe. They finally get it, but not their initial target.
Truth completely baited. He was like, oh, if Cos can live that long, they don't have any damage. Walks into the enemy team. Doesn't quite work like that, buddy. Does go down in the end. Hammy doing some good damage here, but I don't think he's going to be able to steal this. I say that. Fearsome Shade comes on through. T-Tiger's going to be on the front line. Ordained. It's going to be on cooldown here, or in fact, it's available. Not going to be used.
Yeah, and now that Cos, he's kind of burned a lot of his abilities and items to tank up all of that damage. It means, hey, we can't really contest anything for about the next minute. Fountain's on cooldown, Boots are on cooldown, and all he has is just that Polite Company and Quibble to work with.
Yeah, and the question is, what can he do with those abilities? What plays can he make? Hammy is going to be in a whole heap of trouble right here. Does have some support, though, from Truth of Light, and in fact, that went a lot better than it looked like it was going to go.
Yeah, I think Gabe didn't realize that Truth was like in that position. As soon as Truth showed, Gabe was like, all right, I'm out of here.
Let's get out of here.
I'm not using Overwhelmed. I am overwhelmed. So I'm actually out of here and back into position in the mid lane. And yeah, it's just Chuck kind of farming it in the mid lane. He's going to have to get himself at least one more item before he starts to do any significant damage on the map.
I have to say, I've been surprised at the lack of flame that Chuck has received so far this tournament. Usually it's...
no flame, all blame, you know?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess Tribe really haven't been the talking point, surprisingly, in this tournament. Usually, they're the team in the limelight. This time, they almost feel like underdogs at this stage. Elimination game 1, and they're 1 down in the series.
Yeah, and for me, like, I feel like Tribe, they just need to start to set the tempo, and this is exactly what they're doing. Gabe Vizzle will find the stun. There should be a kill onto Kinetic and bottom. Cos made the rotation down, but too little too late. Now, Tribe looking to focus Cos, but he's just so
Back onto the raid boss again.
Root coming out onto Delphi. He's fine. He's tanky as well. Stands his ground.
Cos has his pull.
The Tony plus the Polite Company out of the Finn means they can absorb so much damage in the choke point. Old School taking a lot of damage. Wait for it. Flies on through. Tribe, they're hungry for a kill. Thirsty for a spree. They get the root underneath turret, but Delphi still managing to get out of that one. Fountain clutch from Cos.
Yeah, in the meantime, Hammy is up on the top side of the map, pushing away, forcing those turrets down, and forcing the minions to crash into the next one as well, deny some of that CS. But Ghost Wing actually going to not be opted towards for Tribe here. I feel like they maybe could have forced that objective.
Yeah, maybe they watched the Clash games and they were like, hey, let's not do anything too spicy just yet. But also, you know, you make that point. It is a good one. You're going to have to make some aggressive moves if you're going to come back into the series against Nova.
Yeah, once you're 1-0 down in a best-of-3, you really have to make things happen if you want to be the victor. If you want to fight to defend your title as the world champions. This is Tribe we're talking about here. This is T-Tigers and Max Green here to defend their title. We need to see them making those moves. T-Tigers especially, it's been pretty quiet this tournament.
T-Tigers has been a little bit quiet, and you wonder, like, you know, what's going through his mind right now? Because when a player knows what they're capable of but don't play to that potential, it can be detrimental to their entire playstyle. Now, another wait for it, silencing out Nova here in the mid lane as they try to kite back into turret. Big splash damage. Pull will be blocked off by God Vizzle here in the mid lane. That was only a 4 versus 5, though, because once again, Hamuel doing his own thing in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Hammy's chilling right now. He's doing okay for himself. Ghostwing is going to be started.
He's got an ult here.
He does. Fearsome Shade can just absolutely turn a fight in this kind of situation, especially when everyone's stacked up like they are. Look at the fit over everyone. It's amazing. Look at the fight coming out from Nova. Ultimates on ultimates. T-Tiger's going to fall. Max Green is going to get rooted. That was beautiful coming out from Starting.
Delphi literally knocked the camera off the map there. That's what happened. Don't blame the operator. Blame Delphi. That was awesome. Nova moved in. They had those big ultimates. You called it. And what a fearsome shade coming down the river.
Yeah. We could see it coming. You see a fresh Batiste. He's used nothing coming into a fight. When everyone else has just blown all their cooldowns, you already know what's going to happen. Gabe's going to go down.
Gabe trying to contest over here, dropping down low, will get poked on down by the kinetic, but now Nova expended a lot of abilities. They got to get out. Look at this resonance. It's bouncing through. They're going to get 2 off of that. And this Ghostwing should be there starting.
Oh,
He's
my
making
goodness.
some starting plays in the push. Flexes up, puts a jump on it. Max Green gets it. Hammy.
Starting somehow survived that with Delphi now, just desperately trying to get away with his life. Chuck is not letting him go anywhere. The resonance stays. No, he's not going to chase for it. I guess they want to go for Ghostwing.
Yeah, I mean, that you could tell that's what they wanted from the beginning. They're happy to get those kills there. But that was the first point where CP Vox actually started to do some damage, and we saw it right there.
And this is the first time today, honestly, that we've seen a CP Vox really going aggressive. It's something that, well, we saw it a tiny bit earlier on, but not really to enough of an extent. CP Vox, the healing that you get from your Eve once you finish that item is terrifying. You can be so much more aggressive than I think a lot of players know about.
Yeah, it's really interesting, that perspective of just being able to survive through this. But right now, starting, squaring up against T-Tigers, and we'll go ahead and dip himself out of there. Gabe Bizzle, is he going to look for the pull into the... Oh, didn't see where starting went there. Did you, Gabe? It's okay, not a problem as they drop down onto this Ghostwing. But if you look at Nova, Force Accords up, Fearsome Shade up, Bada Boom up. This is very similar story to the last fight we had in this river. Pulls there, old school, pulled back. They don't have the damage. Quibble, stun onto 2, the move in, but Tribe able to secure up that Ghostwing. Wait for it, used a bit defensively. Now the decision by Nova, trying to re-engage. Look at Hammy dropping around the bottom of the fight right now. A huge taunt on in. Hammy, is he going to line the Fearsome Shade? But that Bada Boom knocking the camera back one more time. Raj comes out, Anka splitting.
How is everyone still alive?
Max Green able to dance back. They're professionals, Munchables! That's what's going on here. Ask me again. Delphi absorbing a lot of damage on the front side of his fight. He's gotten like 2 trash talks off through this fight, but I mean, it's the Polite Company. It's the Tony. He's natural durability. Look at that wolf spot. And Truth got pulled in. He's caught. He's down. Starting wanted to help his buddy, but there was nothing he could do with the burst damage coming out of Tribe.
What a ridiculous fight. That was so extended. That must have been a full minute of combat right there. Somehow everyone's surviving so long. Beautiful fear once again from Hammy. Kos has been stellar on this Finn. The amount of CC he's able to dish out. These Quibbles have been on point, getting those stuns, but also the fortified health. In the meantime, as soon as I compliment them, they start to go down.
Yeah, you complimented Kos though, and that was starting. That was all starting. Just a little bit overzealous in his positioning and punished for it right there. Looked like a lane minion.
A lame minion, if you ask me.
Well played, sir.
But here we go. Now the push from Tribe. Can they get any damage onto one of these turrets? This was the story of last game. They couldn't finish the objectives up. They couldn't push these turrets. That's what they need to change here in Game 2.
I think one of the things that Tribe's really struggling with right now is once you get up in that melee range, they've got the trash talk, which you can grab 2 or 3 people. You've seen this, especially if they're in a choke point. Also now Quibble being overdriven means that they have that AoE stun as well. So there's a couple different ways they can get some AoE disables in there, and Nova have been landing them.
Yeah, they really have. It's been pretty phenomenal so far. Nice little hook there from Gabe, trying to steal this blue Tran, but it's going to be Kos actually that manages to get that.
This game's all Kos right now.
A little bit of CDR for the hook. Don't mind if I do.
Which I'm stoked for, right? Because like Kos has been grinding in the North American scene. He's bounced around on a couple different teams, but he's a player that deserves a lot of respect, and he's showing it here.
Yeah, it's something Bacon was talking about earlier as well. Is he swapped roles recently? He was a jungler. He was renowned for being one of the better junglers back in preseason. More recently, stepped into this captain role, and honestly, has been doing an amazing job here at the World Invitational, standing up as good of a captain as the rest.
He really is, and I think we see you know, some of the best professional players have the ability to do that, to go from position to position, and ultimately, once they get to practice that, I think it just makes them that much better of a player.
It really does. I think you understand the game better if you can swap roles. Here we go, though. Mooncloak in. Nice little bad mojo there from Hammy to reveal them. Here we go. Fight's underway.
They're clumped up. They can apply the damage, but they can also get 3-man stun from Kaz. Look at that quibble right in the river, but the fight spreads out starting. Nice damage coming out over here, as that's a knockback over on to the Silver now. Look at that. Hammy pulled on in, chopped on down. Great job by Gabe Bizzle. Everybody just spreading the damage out, but Tribe have taken the fight that they wanted here. Looks like a little tap from Nova. We'll find that trade on the way out starting. There's no way you can really run from this, can you? He's got to try and make the trade and won't be able to do it just yet. So Tribe really getting a nice trade there.
Yeah, 4 for 2. Don't mind if I do, says Tribe. Old School, absolutely the point of focus in that one. And now he's going to pick up his reward of that Ghost Wing. But he was just able to sit comfortably. Gabe Bizzle did such a good job of just pulling targets in towards him as he melts through those health bars. But it was one by one because of this Yates, because of the control that Tribe had in that fight. It meant Old School wasn't in trouble during these team fight situations and was able to just capitalize.
Yeah, and because of the cooldown on that pull, it's like you can be getting at least 2 of those out through these engages. I don't know if he got 3 out through that one, but he's landing them onto key targets, and that's exactly what Tribe need. You can tell Tribe playing with a bit of a pep in their step. This is a lot more aggressive than we have seen them play all day long, and this is exactly what they need.
This is life or death, so if they aren't playing like that, then they absolutely would need to be, but this is what we've been wanting to see. So what we were saying about Nova in game 1, this is the real Tribe. This is what we've been waiting to see.
I don't think
all day long.
I don't think this is the real Tribe just yet, but this is the beginning of the real Tribe.
You think there's more coming?
Absolutely. These guys are not playing to their full potential right now, and I'm not saying it's like they're not capable of pull in from Cause. Let's see if they have any follow-up damage. Truth, trying to get some damage from this kinetic onto one of these key targets, but this is actually Cause taking a lot of damage for his team. Delphi was able to escape. Cause throws his life away. Fountain comes out, but Tribe, they found 1. Looks like they're going for 2, maybe even 3. Aka, mad damage out of Max Green with the aggressive plays, and I don't know who played who there.
Really nice stuff coming out there from Tribe, forcing these engages with the flicker, and that's why it's such a valuable pick coming out for them. In fact, they don't even have... Yeah, they do have a flicker. I thought I was going crazy for a second there. It's T-Tigers. And Cos standing here, trying to be the raid boss, trying to block for his turret, but it's against the CP Vox, mate. You're just increasing their damage. In the meantime, Old School solo in the Black Claw.
Old School pulling a tasty bacon over there, solo in the Black Claw as his team finds the T2 push in the mid lane. This means that they can go ahead and drop back over with Old School. This should be an easy take. I don't see any contest happening here.
Is this called a tasty bacon? I thought that was when you get soloed by the Black Claw.
Yeah, or like when you move in as a captain and you take all of the last hits on the lane minions and then just keep on your merry way.
I know about that one.
Yeah,
I know all about that one.
But yeah, just, you know, it is one of Bacon's things. He likes to go solo those key. Ever since Kraken, that was his jam.
What a guy. What a guy. Here we go, though. Positioning for the siege. The Black Claw coming on out, and interestingly, just pushing with the Black Claw. We've seen a lot of splits today. We've seen a lot of send it down mid while we go to a side lane. Tribe not feeling that. They just want to push with the Dragon.
They have a series advantage now. Might go the other way. The pull in, Vein Crystal getting some nice chunk damage. Chuck able to slip out of that one. Max Green as well, but just barely with that Anka.
Old School's in trouble.
Yeah, is he though? He's the one pumping out damage. Chuck's the one that's in the most trouble as Delphi chases him down. But Gabe Bizzle helping his teammate out. Truth is going to go down. Will he be able to go? No, he takes Gabe Bizzle down. Look at this T-Tigers going toe for toe. Truth trades on down. Delphi left for dead. They spread the damage. They juggle it around. And it looks like Delphi will find the... Oh, he's got the healing blast held at the last minute. Finally taken on down.
Gabe Bizzle is a god. Stunning out of the bada boom. Delphi got completely denied. Keeps his team alive. That might just be enough to end the game right here. T-Tigers is on the scene. Old School going to try and back him up. Absolutely delete starting all over.
Yeah,
this is going to be game. We're going to number 3.
Loving it, Munch. I mean, this is exactly what everybody wanted to see here. We definitely didn't want a 2-0 in this North American matchup, and it wouldn't have been right to see Tribe go out with a 2-0. And this is maybe what they need to get back on track.
That was... Delphi getting stunned out of Bada Boom is such a quick animation. I'm amazed that I just witnessed that before my very eyes. You can see Chief Pat there congratulating his team, keeping on in the series. Zell and Hot Sauce going to be convening to talk about the plan for game number 3. No time to relax here. 9-1-3 for Old School. Phenomenal stuff. I'm going to kick it back over to the analyst desk to take a deeper look at what happened right there.
Oh man, my heart. Chuck, you're hanging on by just a thread, and then it goes low, then just another thread, and then it goes low, and oh man, what a save there. Great
not
display
known for box,
of
huh?
mechanics by.
He's not.
Holy moly. We also had Tony saying, hey, cameraman, get the F out of here. We don't want you there at all. That was crazy, crazy back and forth team fight. And for the first time all day, we get to say Tribe Gaming is on the winner's side of the circle.
Yeah, they finally pick up a win. Take a look at how they managed to pull that one off. These last team fights were absolutely insane. Again, how does Chuck survive here? Multiple times. He's getting hunted down by a Tony, but the lifesteal from the Eve of Harvest just barely keeping him alive. Meanwhile, Old School is on the back line just tearing through everybody on this Silvernail. Again, why are teams prioritizing Kinetics so heavily when stuff like Silvernail is available?
Gabe Vizzle had a phenomenal stun on to Delphi on the Tony. Tony pulled out the Bada Boom. Delphi tried to Bada Boom. Chuck, Gabe was able to cancel it. Absolutely phenomenal play. Viewers at home probably don't notice things like that. As a captain player, I absolutely do. I mean, it was really spectacular, 100%. What kept Chuck alive in that team fight, and really what won Tribe the game off the back of that team fight.
Yeah, it's those little plays, and this is what the players from Tribe have been known for throughout their careers, are those little things that end up setting them apart. You know, Gabe Vizzle for the longest time he was the only one who was able to consistently block, you know, Catherine ultimates and things like that. That's become a much more standard skill set now, but there's always those little bit extra that these guys are able to bring to the table.
That's right. We saw just an exciting match, and you want to stick around and see it. You guys want to stick around at home as well, because we still have one more major item to give away. It is the Razer Phone 2. Stick in the Twitch chat, and we will be running that later on into the broadcast, hopefully. That will be you, the lucky winner. Now let's go back to that game real quick. Just, my goodness, you know, we put a lot on T-Tigers and Max Green, the world champs, on this team. But you guys touched on it. It was Gabe and it was Chuck the one stepping up in this.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely stepping up a big way. And, of course, again, Old School as well, 9-1-3 on the Silvernail. That's the carry that they need Old School to be in these games if they're going to have any chance of making it not just past Nova, but even further in this tournament. He needs to be this stellar all-star lane carry that we know he is.
Old School, definitely the best Silvernail player in the world. I think one of the predominant Silvernail players in general, but he always is able to find those stakes, pinning people up against the wall, finding the stun, silencing people with the tripwires. So good.
Yeah, absolutely incredible stuff. I want to see them put more priority on getting Old School onto the Silvernail, because, like you mentioned, he is the best in the world. I have not seen anyone in the world play Silvernail better than he does.
And he just proved it yet again in this exciting series. Let's take a look at Tribe. We get to fly this one. We weren't sure if we were going to be able to use this one if they dropped it. It was a back and forth affair. But let's take a look at some of their achievements. First place in World Champs. We've talked about it back and forth all day in 2017. WESG USA qualifiers. They are the U.S. representative for that tournament later on next year. And then they hit second place, the first road bump in a little bit against Nova. And maybe that's the first time they get to exercise their demons. We're looking at Twitch chat right here. Maybe a start of something great. On the opposite side, though, let's take a look at Nova. This is a team we've touched on. They might go a little bit mental boom. They have such a high ceiling, but their floor can just disperse from below them. Might this loss be something like that? It was close, so like, is it worse than getting blown out?
It's definitely a point for concern. Yeah. I mean, everyone has talked about it at some point here today. Is, you know, when Nova gets behind, they can fall apart at the seams. Someone needs to step up as the in-game leader and make sure that does not happen.
To be fair, we will say as we get into this draft that, you know, they have done a good job thus far today of showing that they haven't gotten that full tilt. They haven't just broken down after losing a game or even a series.
Nova, Tribe, 1-1, loser goes home. Who's going to stake their claim to the crown? Let's get into the draft.
if there's a Silvernail coming through, then that could be a phenomenal pun there from Degon, but we'll have to wait and see what's going to be picked up. Nova, they've been, again, one of these teams putting the priority on the kinetic. We'll see if they do decide to lock that in first, but Anka, I feel like Anka needs to be first picked here. It has been so impactful.
Yeah, absolutely, and Kaz is going to scoop that one up for the side of Nova, just being able to go in, execute, blow up whatever target you need, and then just get out of it. Very, very unique skill set that Anka brings to the table that really maybe Reza is the only other hero that has, but Anka just does it better.
Yeah, Anka is just so difficult to lock down. If you do get a stun onto her, you can pretty much blow her up instantly, but she is so slippery that it is very difficult to actually get that initial stun to start things off. And Arden gonna be picked up here by Tribe, and please don't do it. Please don't do it, Tribe. Take the Silvernail instead. All right, Nova's winning this.
That's a bold prediction. I mean, we said it before the last game. You know, these life or death scenarios are really Tribe's sweet spot. When they're in these situations, this is really when they like to step up big time. But now Nova has almost been playing Kinetic all day long, so it's a big question of, you know, what do they play here to replace that with? You've got to assume that that's going to be another mid-lane crystal-powered box. We saw Chuck play it with great effect in that last game. I'm going to be pretty interested in see how that ends up shaping things out. Tribe hovering over the Scarf. So Tribe again putting Chuck on a hero other than Celeste. He knows how to play mages very, very well. I like this a lot out of the side of Tribe.
Yeah, absolutely. I think getting Chuck off of Celeste was incredibly important in that last game because he has just been getting dove over and over again or getting pulled in. And once you do on the Celeste, there's nothing for you to get out. You have a core collapse, and that's it. At least with Scarf, you can put down the big slow. You know, no one's going to be reflex blocking a slow from a goop, whereas the core collapse, that's going to get blocked 90% of the time. So this gives them a little bit of that survivability. You also have a little bit more, extra sustain with Scarf having the Eve of Harvest just does so much sustained healing for him, whereas Celeste is more just like burst heal from the Eve of Harvest. So I like this Scarf pick. Better than the Celeste. I still don't know if it's going to be enough for Tribe because of the fact that Scarf still can be dove, but now Silvernail getting picked up by Nova. It'll be interesting to see how Truth is going to do with this hero because Old School just put on a clinic and then Tribe said, yeah, no, let's not do that again.
Yeah, Nova picking in that Silvernail. I like that pick a lot. Tribe last picking the Samuel. So the question is...
This could be a jungle Scarf.
It could be a jungle Scarf. It could also be perhaps a top lane Scarf. I'm guessing that's where the Arden probably ends up going on Max Green, which that was the hero that he was last on before they switched the screen. But, you know, it's anyone's game. It is do or die for one of these two North American teams. They have to leave it all on the table right here or they're going home.
It is T-Tigers in the jungle on the Scarf with Chuck playing the Samuel in the mid lane. So I actually like this much better than Chuck being on the Scarf. Even though I liked him on the Scarf better than the Celeste, the Samuel I think is even better because it allows Chuck to just play his style, which is stay in the back and just keep yourself sustained throughout a long, drawn-out fight.
He did do a fantastic job of that last game, and the Silvernail Nova takes away. Anything you can do, Tribe, we can do better. That's their thought process going into this final game. Do or die time, boys. Tribe and Nova, life on the line. Guys, take it away.
Game number 3. Here we go. The decider for Nova and Tribe. Who goes home and who moves on in the tournament?
I mean, only time will tell, Munch, and we're all here because we love this game. We love Vainglory. We've had sweaty games ourselves, but nobody has been in a situation like this before if you're watching from home, because this is all on the line. Do or die. Put up or shut up.
Absolutely, and Tony certainly doesn't usually shut up, but he's not going to be in this game. It's been... I'm surprised, honestly, to see Nova didn't want to go for that Tony. Instead, decided Delphi is going to be better off on Flicker. But Flicker has been a pick that's worked incredibly well for them today.
I mean, I guess, you know, Flicker brings so much to the table. I think it's a really unique pick. And as long as you know how to push him to his limits, you really get a lot out of it.
I mean, honestly, the vision control that Flicker offers, I think, is often undervalued.
It really is.
People talk about his hard engage. People talk about
how you have to keep vision down against him.
But actually, just the ability to clear the enemy vision. Max Green, just chilling.
Max is chilling. I mean, he knows how to push this to his limits. He's going to hang out down here. And of all the heroes he could have, he's going to be really happy to be on this Arden right now.
Oh, yeah. That power Arden, incredibly strong. Such a consistently strong hero as well in 5v5 so far. That top lane Arden just...
I'm a little down on it, if I'm being honest.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a little down on the weapon Arden right now. I feel like the utility that he's been bringing is a lot more successful than the weapon damage that he's been outputting. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just where I've seen the more strength.
I mean, I just think that the weapon Arden, you still have so much utility. You just also delete carries. That's why I love.
You want to delete some carries, dude? You gotta go full CP Arden. That's what it's all about. We can talk about that another day because that's not going to be happening here. Starting, dropping low. Give me one more Malice. What's the verdict? The verdict is Cause body blocks it up like a true legend. Will go down, but keeps starting alive.
That is the ultimate sacrifice coming out from the captain.
Really?
We've been talking about how great Cos has been playing here today. Continues to live up to that reputation. Starting maybe throws that sacrifice away. Needs to be careful here, but this is a huge turn of events though. Ton of damage coming down onto that mid lane turret so early on.
So strategically, if you look at Cos throwing his life away, maybe not worth it because Starting just didn't have enough health to stay alive in that lane, had to port back anyway. Whatever the case, the game does continue to tick on. T-Tigers and Max Green down in this bottom lane. We see a rotation from Gabe, but there is vision down. Truth really stacking up. Must have a healing flask. What's he doing so far forward in the lane? Is going to get punished for his aggression. 2-0 Tribe.
Yeah, really, really nice rotation coming out from Gabe Bizzle. Just guarantees that 2v2 no longer going to be a fair fight, and Delphi is not going to be able to hold this lane on his own. That's going to be shoved in by Max and T-Tigers. That gives them the opportunity to port back, get some items, and look for more fights in the future. Yeah,
Tiggs is going to go ahead and get back to base. Gets himself a heavy prism, some minion candy actually as well on T-Tigers. And minion candy not something I don't think we've really pointed out too much, but a lot of these teams, especially North America, are using this to their advantage to help them with pushes, to go ahead and minion candy and then go look for another objective. And it's just a really strong strat to try and pull out right now.
Now, something we've neglected to talk about yet in game number 3 here is the fact that game number 2, Hammy swapped onto the Arden. Bit more of a team-oriented pick, but he's back on anchor. He's back on that playmaking assassin, and that is where we've really seen him shine today. That could be the difference maker here for Nova if he can make those plays happen. But again, we mentioned it earlier, it's been hit or miss. Sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not. Bottom lane turret, though, is going to go the way of Nova.
Yeah, bottom turret's down. This will be the point where we start to see a little bit more rotations from Nova across the map. Probably top turret. Yeah, that one is already dropped down as well. So both of these teams can kind of mirror each other's rotations at this point. And I'm not sure where the next objective is going to be. It could be a team's like kind of get into position around these shops, which are going to spawn here in the next 20 seconds or so. Or they might decide to just kind of hang out, chill, continue to farm.
Yeah, I mean, both options perfectly viable at this point in the game, but once we start to see these first items come out, that's when we'll really see action kick off, especially around that kind of level 9 mark. You know, starting going to be on that CP Vox. If you can get your alternating current, get towards that Eva Harvest. Once you get an infusion at that point, it's See you later, Hammy.
Later.
People say he's still running to this day. Still sprinting away.
Hammy, he's out of there. Wasn't having any of that, was he?
I've never seen someone just nope out of a situation harder in Vainglory. That was beautiful.
Yeah, that was pretty hilarious, and it's really funny, these small little moments inside in the game. But right now, old school forward, able to dash himself back. Tribe still staying forward in the position here in this lane. And T-Tigers landing some nice Spitfires is forcing the back. Delphi eating another Spitfire to the face, and you just can't really trade when you're taking those damages over and over.
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult to just stay in a lane against Scarf, honestly. That's one of the things that he offers over Celeste. They were kind of debating Scarf versus Celeste on the analyst desk.
Yeah.
Biggest thing he offers, in my opinion, is just early presence. Celeste kind of doesn't exist until level 8. Oh, Delphi might not exist at this rate. Just about gets away with his life. Drifting Dark from Chuck here as the portal is on out here. But they're going to be able to walk away. No kills taken.
No kills. Both of these teams just playing to their maximum potential right now. I feel like Nova and Tribe.
Oh, good stun.
Yeah, that was actually a really nice stun, but it just feels like both of these teams starting to live up to the expectations right now.
Oh, I thought something magical could have happened there. Chuck had a really nice sleep on starting, but not able to follow up. Everybody's so low on both teams right now. Everyone's fighting on a knife's edge. Could go either way, but neither team is willing to commit to that situation.
Yeah, neither team willing to commit just yet. They're pushing their advantage where they can, but just not like into the position where they might be in a throwing sort of state. But once again, Nova, they get some chip damage and right back down the lane. But now, look at the rotations coming. Cool. Gauntlets down, even though Max is low on health. This looks like it's going to be at least 1 or 2 kills. Portal allowing them to reposition. Nice plays from Nova. Now down by the river. Truth will be the first to fall. Max stays alive. Old School stays alive as well. He's going to start this barrier treant, but the Mooncloak means that Nova are going to get right back in. There is a scout cam down in the bush. Look at that, wait for it! Oh, how about that one? Oh, his name is starting all over. He's playing some Vox, and that was beautiful.
That is the aggressive CP Vox I've been talking about. That's what I wanted to see all day. Starting all over, comes out of his shell. Where has this been all day? That's what we want to see, and that is going to be another turret.
It's like a shark in the water with this guy too. Like once he gets like just a sniff of blood in the water, he is going to turn it up, turn into this monster that we know he is, and it's just a thing of beauty. That's one of the best wait forwards I've actually ever seen.
It was the fact that he knows that the first kill is taken. He knows that he doesn't need to finish off.
Exactly, it's like a fadeaway.
So he
it's
just
like a
goes
Jordan
straight
fadeaway,
onto the
you
next
know?
target.
Straight on it, and that just comes down to game knowledge and knowing exactly how far he can push his advantage in the moment.
Unbelievable stuff. What? That was an unbelievable play coming out from him. The CP Vox just beautiful. And now the question becomes, what can Tribe do about this? Because starting all over is unlocked now. And this guy is not easy to shut down. If starting all over gets the ball rolling, if he starts to feel that momentum, everyone says it about Nova. It's the #1 thing people talk about. If they get that train leaving the station, it's never stopping.
Well, I'll tell you what they can do. They can stay at range. You've got a Samuel. You've got a Scarf. You have your Kinetic. You have a Lyra. You stay at range. You get that poke damage, and you only move in when you have advantage. If they can do that, Tribe definitely can find these fights. But if they close that gap, they allow starting to get some... Look at that splash damage, I mean, coming on through. You have to be so careful in these situations.
Take a look in starting all over's inventory as well. He has that weapon infusion. For any of you guys at home that are thinking maybe you need to start playing some CP Vox, weapon infusion is the way to go. Gets you a ton of attack speed and just means those bouncers are going to continue to come out throughout the fights. He'll finish off this Eve, and once he does, that is a huge power spike.
Right now, starting looking for an opening, looking like he's the one that's going to engage the fight. And this is, this is exactly what we were talking about. He is starting to come alive, play to his potential. Look at Cause right here on the back. He's going to get the self-heal, wind up for the verse. The damage is there, but the stun is blocked off. Now chasing, looking for more. Cancel onto the gauntlet. Delphi trying to get the damage to zone with the flicker here. Gave Vissel forced back. Looks like Vox able to squirt down into the river here. Just staying alive. Perfect timings on the fountain there coming out. And they actually have 2 fountains working right now for the side of Nova. And it just showed right there.
Yeah, all of their item builds perfectly designed for team fighting. And you saw as soon as that fight started, Starting and Hammy both immediately popped those infusions that are in the inventories. But Tribe are the ones that are winning out this situation right now, unless we have this re-engaged Chuck taking a good chunk of damage. Yeah, they know to back away from those residence spawns.
Exactly. The thing is, like, it looks good for Tribe, but all you have to do is get that pulse off. Maybe a Sonic Zoom, they get some nice chunk damage, and they'll be on the back foot. Tribe really want this turret, though. It's low on health. They just need a couple more pops onto it. The chip damage is real. You got to be so careful, though. Starting, we'll go ahead and back off as the turret falls.
And it feels like that is a colossal moment for Tribe in this game, because so far, in this game specifically, not in the series, just in this one match, it's felt like they've been just clawing to try and get a hold of something. And that, if that turret hadn't gone down, I feel like that would have been a mental blow more than an in-game blow.
It's like pushing a car up a hill. Like, you got to get to that peak, and once you get there, it's all downhill, down the other side. It feels like Tribe might have made that happen for themselves. We are 11 minutes in. It is 3-2. Not a lot of kills out on the map right now, but a ton of aggression. And I think we're just seeing the true skill of these players shining right now.
We absolutely are. Honestly, I'm still in disbelief that this is a lower bracket first game.
Wait, we're in the lower bracket?
This is the lower bracket with these 2 exceptional teams going up against one another. This easily could have been the grand final of the whole tournament, but no longer. Here we go, Tribe. Gonna grab themselves a Ghost Wing.
Hi, my name's Delphi. I'm thinking about stealing
Yeah.
it, but I'll go ahead and back on out. So making the smart
We've seen
play.
it before.
But look at this push. I mean, this is even more intelligent for Nova than that takedown on the Ghost Wing. They're up in the top lane. They're taking turrets. Like, you want to play with some dragons, it's fine. We're taking objectives on the other side of the map.
Playing with dragons is playing with fire at this stage in the game. Truth of Light, just about getting away. Look at the damage onto starting, trying to walk away with his life. Wait for it, comes across. Look at the damage coming on through. He's finished off.
And that's why they like that kinetic so much. That's why Flash loves this pick when it gets taken for both of these squads. Actually, every team here at the tournament. I mean, you have that nice chunk damage. You have the ultimate to chase him down, the ability to reposition, and they execute it perfectly.
Often it feels like Kinetic's ultimate doesn't do enough in certain situations, but if you're in that scenario, they don't have a block available, they don't have a captain nearby, it absolutely chunks out the health.
And especially it's on a squishy hero, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is starting to have in the way of defense? Really not much. And if you can get that onto him, it's going to be perfect. Perfect execution there. And I would expect no less from Old School in a moment like this. He's been in a position like this before. They have Black Claw. They're in the mid lane. And if Tribe play their cards well, they could be into the base of Nova within moments. Black Claw slamming home onto the T2 in the mid lane. Now onto the base turret, looking for an engage.
These are the moments that decide an entire series right here. This could be do or die for Nova. They have to survive this siege. They have to survive the ensuing team fight, or they're going to be knocked out of the entire tournament. Here goes a hard engage.
A hard engage from Nova, trying to force Tribe back. A nice job to drop the gauntlet, zoning Nova. Delphi takes a lot of chunk damage. They're on to starting zone back. He's down. Tribe look like they're trying to get it to end this one out, and they might have done it. They've taken 2, looking for 3. Black Claw still alive. They're in the base of Nova. It is do or die right now. Nova, can you make the plays? Delphi will get the fountain out at the last moment. Yeah, Hammy's still alive, but it's
what
5
can he do?
versus 1. Hamuel Jackson. Oh no! Tribe have done it in Game 3. Stay alive. They're sending Nova home. And Tribe will move on. What a barn burner.
Unbelievable performance at the end out of Tribe. Honestly, it could not have been a closer
I want to
game.
go hug like everybody up there, like Tribe for winning, and then Nova just because they're my boys, and I just feel so bad to see them in a moment like this. Hammy almost in disbelief. He was like, you could tell Hammy was thinking like, team, are we really engaging right now? That's why he was on the back of that fight.
How did it end like this? Devastating loss for Nova, but unbelievable for Tribe. For them to manage to take that one. It felt like they were so far behind. It felt like there was no way back into the game. Once starting had started to pop off, once we saw Hammy getting into the back of those team fights, I thought it was all over for Tribe, but somehow they pulled through and power onto their match against Clash.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's no way to change your predictions on who's going to win this tournament. I don't know who was predicting this Nova squad, but
I don't know, I'm a European, so I'm pretty sure I said Clash.
yeah, I'm pretty sure you said Clash as well. But look at these guys, good sports here. Starting all over, we've seen this guy mature so much. I mean, you go back a couple seasons, it was tough for this guy to shake hands after a loss, but he's matured so much, he's continued to improve. It's great to see them, you know, they're all friends here. These guys play together so much. They're on different sides of the map here, and sure, Nova goes down, but they're going to keep in touch. They're going to keep playing together. I mean, they could be teammates for all they know in the future, depending on how things shake out. I'm still impressed with what Nova were able to do.
Yeah.
Maybe not living up to their full potential, but I'm definitely stoked for Tribe.
I think the most impressive thing from Tribe as well is there was no one specific player that won this series for them. It was a team victory, and that's absolutely what we all know Tribe for. Let's break this one down just a little bit more. I'm going to give it over to